Hello, we're here this afternoon to tell you about a very exciting project from the Foundation. We've had some potentially really good news and we want to share that with you. 2 anonymous donors in the US have pledged to match fund donations dollar for dollar up to $50,000. This has the possibility of being transformative for the Foundation. We've never had an opportunity like this before. So we want to tell you about it and hopefully get your support and get you on board. Because what we want to do with the funding, if we can be successful in our campaign, is to bring you some really fabulous new digital resources. And that's why I'm joined here with Andrew, author of our Townland Atlas, and our research director, William, to talk about his parish source guide. So Andrew, the Townland Atlas has been hugely successful in print, but now we want to go to the next level in this campaign to turn it into a digital resource.
Absolutely. Whenever I was compiling the material for the Atlas, there was just so much information out there. It was very difficult to compress it, even to the stage of a 500-page A4 book. So to be able to access that information in a more searchable way, to be able to link it to other things and tie everything together in a rounded way to help researchers out there is just a fantastic opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And William, we've already put some thought into how we would put the Townland Atlas online and how that would link into some other things that you're working on.
Yes, we'd like it to be an integrated project that would draw in various strands. So Andrew has highlighted the immense value of his Townland Atlas. But I'm sure, Andrew, that there are other things you would like to add to it, and even directions in which you would like to see it go. I mean, I've been working on a parish source guide that will itemise records that are available for every parish in the province of Ulster. So we're looking here at the Barony of Strabane Lower from your Townland Atlas. So I'm just looking at my home parish of Donaghadee, and it's a parish that has records, for example, church records, going back to the late 17th century for the Church of Ireland. There's some really excellent estate papers for Donaghadee, for the Abercorn estate. And there are various other lists of names, publications and so on. So to try and bring all that together and make it more accessible to the user. I mean, the basic building blocks of genealogy are the sources, after all.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I was doing the research, I used so many different sources that I wasn't able to reference in my index. I had, the spreadsheet that I drew the index out of was 3 times as wide on my workings because I had so many other sources in there. And just to be able to bring those together and really sort of make them accessible to the researcher is essential. The other thing, just looking at the parishes, were that in the Atlas we talk about how parishes have changed over the years and boundaries shifting and so on. In a digital form of a map, it's a click of a button to change those lines on your screen. Whereas in an atlas like this here, if you want to do it every 50 years, you're kind of multiplying the size of the book by 8 to begin with. And just the same for the Roman Catholic and the Church of Ireland parishes as well. It's just so good to be able to change things.
And of course the poor law unions, for example, the fact that the boundaries of those changed over the period from 1840 onwards as well.
Yes. Really, I've been doing some research on that recently, and it really is something that, again, because of the fact that you can look at a point in time on a digital source, really makes it so much easier to determine what authority you're going to look at. And even in terms of births, marriages and deaths, changing registration districts and so on.
And getting those digital maps with all the different levels, all the complexity and online as part of this is crucial. A spatial representation where things like William's sort of parish source guide can be also a click of the button away. Yes. And for us, we grew up in these localities, we know the townlands, but if you're new to research, if not from Ireland, there's 16,000 plus townlands in the 9 counties, you need to know where you're going, and your maps are really the key tool to help and unlock all of this.
Yes. And I mean, obviously there are the Northern Ireland Place Name Project and the equivalent down south and so on. But to be able to tie that into maps is also a potential of the digitisation, because we have the names that were given to all these townlands back in the 1600s and so on, all already in the spreadsheet.
And that's why, in preparing for this digital atlas, we have actually released earlier this year our sense of place, because we wanted to get that idea across, and we're putting links to those resources like the Place Names Project, where we're directing people to the placenamesni.org website and other resources that we're able to find. It's a signposting to sort of get people interested in the subject and let them read around it for their part of the world, and then bringing along the digital atlas, I think, is going to be a massive step forward.
It is. I always feel as well that whenever you're doing early research, particularly, to read everything that you can find about the townland that your family came from is so valuable. They may not be mentioned by name, but you learn so much about their lives, and really at the end of the day that's what genealogical research is about. Finding out where we came from, and we find that out by learning about their lives rather than names, dates and...
Yeah, no, I would agree entirely with that, Andrew. You know, the importance of just getting to grips with the area in which your ancestors lived. So as you say, yes, basically saturate yourself in all of the information you can find out about that locality, because some of it may initially appear to be of absolutely no relevance whatsoever, but you never know when some little detail begins to make something else, make sense of something else. So that's why you need to really dig deeply into the area in which your ancestors lived.
And particularly as well, you find so much that migrants from a townland will congregate together in the New World. So you can see people from the same townland on the same street in Philadelphia. And, it's just really to know about where they've come from, who's there, and then you recognise those names in the American sources and go, that's an explanation.
Our late colleague, Dr. Brian Traynor, used to use a quote which was excellent, really explains that. I think it was from Oliver McDonough, but I'm not sure. But they moved from one village community in Ireland to another village community on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. And that is so true. And as well as the digital atlas and the source guide, William, the parish source guide, we have been working a lot on quite a broad range of databases in the past 12 months, and we have plans for more. And that's one of the features of our campaign, our Big Ask campaign.
It is, yes. I mean, we have been identifying other resources that could be database, could be made available for our members and some for everyone. And again, it's about taking the information in those databases and trying to integrate it into the broader digital atlas as well, because what's really critical about any record that you find that has a personal name and a place name, so you can take the person to the location. And if you can integrate the databases and the place name information in them into a broader resource, I think it will be awfully good for the researcher.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's one of the things as well going forward. It means that as we are identifying up more sources and so on, we're immediately relating them into the structure of the database. And so at a click of a button, you are going to something about that particular townland, which, again, looking at old records, you can very often find subdivisional names are used or spellings are so out of kilter to what we're used to that it's very difficult for the researcher, amateur researcher in particular, to recognise what that is. And if we've done the hard work of getting that together and it is there on the database and it's all linked, it just... And it opens up a whole new world.
When we were planning the website, and this has gone back several years, the idea was that we could embed anywhere on the website, any page, any resource, the county, barony, parish and townland, because we had this thought before, but now we're hoping to have the chance to make it reality. And just thinking of really important data sets with place, gravestone inscriptions. We have done so much with our own gravestone inscriptions, and that will be part of it as well. I mean, we say to people when we're talking overseas, like America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, while all European groups certainly seem to leave their place of origin on the stone, the Irish seem to do it more than any other group. That's certainly an impression we have. And the Foundation's gravestone inscription, William, first start your map that you developed.
Yes, well, just to pick up on the point you made just now, Fintan, I remember in 2007, Dr. Brian Traynor, a colleague, and I were in Savannah. We were simply passing through on a lecture tour, but we had an hour or two, And so we did go into the old cemetery in Savannah, and it was very striking that of all the different, you might say, immigrant groups who are represented in that cemetery, it seemed to be the Irish who were most likely to put their place of origin on a headstone. And in that graveyard there were actually families from Coleraine, Andrew, your own hometown as well.
And that's why we used the photograph at the frontispiece of the book of Corgary, Ireland, from Natchez, Mississippi. And again, Brian and I visited that graveyard in 2005-ish, and we must have counted 100 headstones in that graveyard in the old Catholic burial plot with Irish counties, and about 16 of the 32 counties were represented on. I mean, the resource, and this I suppose what we're doing here, you've taken, as I say, the map.
Yes, the map.
Graveyards in Ulster, and then through to the actual gravestone inscriptions, and also maybe want to say just something about the donations of gravestone inscriptions we've also got, as well as the foundation's own published resources. How we can build that all in.
Well, absolutely. So the Graveyards of Ulster map, it's a resource that's available now on our website, on our History from Headstones section. So it's an attempt to map out all of the known graveyards in the 9 counties of Ulster. So far, there are some 1,900 graveyards have been plotted on the map, and it's overlaid on a Google map, so you can zoom right in and see the aerial view of the graveyard itself. So yes, many of the graveyards in that resource, we have published the inscriptions, especially if it was from County Down or parts of County Antrim and Belfast. We have also recordings of many, many more graveyards. And of course we have people have given us copies of gravestones as well. So it's about, trying to pull this together. And so you can go from the map to the gravestone, to the graveyard, to the gravestone, but then to the family, and then to the digital atlas where you can actually see where the family lived. So again, it's about trying to make this as integrated a project as possible, to pulling so much together that people can visualize something of where their ancestors lived, and then hopefully, of course, for those overseas, actually able to come to the townland in which their ancestors once lived. We know from experience that genealogists are not put off by the weather. They're not put off by being ready, put off by having to get out into the countryside and finding their way. They are prepared to walk up that muddy path. They are prepared to climb over that barbed wire fence if it means finding where their ancestors lived.
And Andrew, we were talking about this just earlier. You've been doing a bit of work like that with these homeland visits in recent times.
Yes, and fighting our way through bracken to look at old fallen down stone walls and things like that there. Yeah, it really is. People seem to find it incredibly rewarding to be able to go and walk in the footsteps of their ancestors, really. Going to the places they've been, the churches they belong to, and just immersing themselves in the place that they came from, albeit they've never seen before.
No, there's a real poignancy for all of us, actually, to be able to find the graveyard where our ancestors are buried, or the homestead where they once lived. Even if there's nothing there now, or it's just a pile of stones, there's still something very important about being able to make that connection, that finding your roots wherever they might be.
And when you get down to that granular level, the clues can be all over the place. Just during COVID, a discussion with our family, they alerted me to, I didn't know it, there was a stone on the Nugent estate wall at the shore in Portaferry where a William Moreland carved his name in 1794 or 6, and that was our ancestor, my mother. Never knew it existed, but when you're even walking the byways, you're seeing things, you're seeing the lives of your ancestors there.
I think as well, certainly with Virtual Treasury, there's a lot more material is coming online that we have never seen before, and we can find things, but we need to understand the landscape that that's relating to, because they talk about manners and use names that we're unfamiliar with in a lot of cases. So to be able to relate that through the work done for the Atlas and in the sense of place and so on, really, really helps people to to make use of the resources that are becoming available.
Yeah, and two things, like on that census place we have, it's a database we hope to grow, but the unofficial and sub-townland names is so important as well. Plus, we're not trying to be as if we will be the only provider of the resources. It's all about signposting people to the likes of the virtual treasury, what Prony's doing, etc.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot out there, and it's just most of it will not apply to you most of the time, but to be able to put your finger on it whenever you need it is is the trick, really. And that's what we're hoping to be able to provide.
Well, you can see we're very excited about this project. We have three main strands to the campaign: the Digital Atlas, William's Parish Guide, and also to get resources to capture more databases. So we hope you will be enthused yourselves. The foundation has really this sort of opportunity, as I said, never comes along for small charities like the foundation. The generosity, the potential generosity of these donors to match fund up to $50,000 could really be a game changer of the foundation. And of course, you're helping us to help you. It's a symbiotic relationship in a way, because we are going to do the work to put the content up so you can benefit from it. So I hope you will support us in whatever way you can. And I don't know if, gentlemen, if you have anything else to say before we close out.
It is just such a fantastic opportunity to do something that just hasn't been done on this scale before.
For us anyway.
Yeah.
For us.
And it's something that can have a real impact for so many people. We think of the Ulster diaspora can be counted in the millions. So there's huge potential for this project to help so many people around the world connect to their ancestors' home place in Ulster.